Today, I would like to recommend a book, Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Gehan, which focuses on three pairs of thinking patterns, which affect every decision we make in our daily lives. I would like to say that Thinking Fast and Slow is the most useful book I have ever seen. First of all, it is a tool for knowledge and method, which is relatively objective and can be evaluated. Secondly, the subject of this book, how to think, is relevant to all people and goes far beyond the scope of the Bible. Last, the conclusion of this book are based on rigorous facts and derived through the significant method. Whether or not they are consistent with common sense, you can't help but believe them. The basis of thinking fast and slow is the author's framework for human thinking, System 1 and System 2. System 1 is our brain's instinctive response to things and quick judgment, which is fast thinking, where System 2 requires a bit of brain power to think about things and make choices, requiring attention, which is slow thinking. Before reading this book, I was always critical of the fast thinking way because this spontaneous and impulsive mode of thinking can cause us to invalidate develop many thinking barriers and cognitive illusions. But from this book, I learned that fast thinking, which relies on skilled intellect, can also be very reliable, but only with long-term deliberate practice out of skills and experience. In fact, in this area of information explosion, if we rely on system 2 to do slow thinking, we will only be able to look behind others, and sooner or later our system 2 will be exhausted. Therefore, the most reasonable approach is to let the two systems work together in their own way. We can improve the accuracy of fast thinking through deliberate practice, and we can reduce the error rate of system 1 by consistent learning, and the biases tend to occur in cognitive process of thinking. Some costs are also an important factor in our daily decisions. The book gives an example. Two avoid fans go to a game at a stadium 64 kilometers away from their homes. Fan A pays for their own tickets and Fan B gets a free ticket. With a weather forecast of a snowstorm on the night of the game, which fan is more likely to go to the game? The result of the experiment clearly show that fan A is more likely to go to the game, and this is obviously consistent with the psychological account. But if we look at it from a regional economic person's perspective, the cost of the ticket is already a sunk cost, and it's no longer a factor in our decision. Before reading this book, I had actually been influenced by some cause, such as I have been waiting for this bus for 20 minutes. It's not cost effective to take a taxi now. Or I have sacrificed so much for this relationship. There's no way I can just walk away. Fortunately, as we understand and learn about this knowledge about seeking partners, we will become more and more rational and know when to hold on and when to let go and start over. Another point that struck me was the phenomenon of anchoring. This is one of the most common and interesting choices we make in life. In the free market, when we don't know the price of the food, the price given by the other party is an anchoring, and we are basically bears in favor of the other party's offer if we change it based on the offer given by the other party. Unless we give an independent price ourselves, then this is equivalent to giving us other anchoring value to the other side. In terms of wedge negotiation and unit negotiation, we are both giving the other side an anchoring price range that makes the side we end up on more valuable. And all of this knowledge is something that I didn't know before. And after understanding it, it can help me to make more favorable decisions. Of course, in my opinion, the book has its flaws. For example, System 1 and System 2, is there really no better way to name them? And WYSIATI, namely what you see is all there is, which really makes the reader's reading experience worse. The author also mentions it repeatedly in the book and doesn't is a note after it. In addition, I think this book also does not have a high level of summary and grabs of full thinking fast and slow. If the author can provide a good global framework, it would be better. Based on the lesson from this book, students should train themselves to make a decision at the least cost and with the best result. First, students can take external advice to make decisions, always noting that different representations cause people to make different decisions and generate different opinions about what to do. In addition, we can rely on results to make overall risk lower. Reframing the problem by changing the reference point is also an effective way. In short, this book is for everyone, so buy it fastly, but remember, read it slowly.